Welcome back to the class, guys. So in this class you will learn Linux commands that are used to administrate Linux systems. Now we will start learning the commands. Let's start with alias. Alias is a command that is used to give a short names for any command, like you are seeing the syntax over here. So for example, ls is a file listing. So however, ls is a 2-character command, L and S, but there are some other commands which are quite big. Like in the syntax you have seen, I have given a short name lm for ls minus a. So now let's look that command in action. So before going to ls, let's look at the man pages. Man is a command to display manual of any command you want to play around or you want to learn about that command. So man alias, no manual entry is available, but man ls, so it displays a manual for the long listing, say list directory contents. So man is the command used to display manual pages of particular command. So press Q on your keyboard to get out of the manual pages. Similarly, man some other pwd, print current working directory. So again hit Q to escape. So now we'll give alias for, say for example, alias as said ll, short name for pwd. Now we have given a short name for pwd. If I type ll, it will display current working directory. That's what. So earlier we have already seen pwd. What is pwd? That is print working directory, that we have already worked out. So now we've given a short name or my own name for the command. Similarly, we can give for alias some lk is equal to, when you are giving long commands, make sure that you give within a quotes. Okay, single quote, ls minus la, that we have seen in the slide. So before that, let's look what is ls minus la. ls hyphen la, so it is the command that lists all the files and folders including the hidden files. A command shows the hidden, a switch shows the hidden files, and hidden files are denoted using the dot or a period. So now let's give a alias name for the command or alias for the command. ll or la, not la, we'll give lq is equal to ls minus la. It's done. So let's type lq. So again it displays the same results. So that is the alias command. Let me customize this terminal so that I can remove the above frame. Yeah, it's done. You can view and hide the Windows borders. That's it. So now new command, who am I? Who am I is a command that is actually used both in Windows and Linux system. So in here, who am I displays the user login name to the standard output, that is terminal over here. That is, it displays the username or account name using which the user has logged into this particular session. As you are seeing right from the installation of Kali Linux, I have created a user account with login name Kiran, and I have logged into this session using account Kiran, and it is displayed the same over here. Next command is who. Who in Linux displays the list of users who are logged into this system right now. And you can see that I have logged into this system as Kiran on terminal TTY7 and on June 4th 2020 at 7:48 p.m. Now who minus hyphen I, that is, I have added a flag or switch or option minus a, that is equal to who hyphen all, and it displays some other information like time of last system boot, run level, that is 5 over here, and generally displays all login users information and their details, and also prints like prints active processes, that is spawned here by init or init. So that is who minus a, but you can get more information by using man command, man space who. And next is w command. Yes, single character W is a command that shows a quick way who are all logged in and what they are doing on the system or what they are doing in this session. Next, date. Date command displays system time and date. And then we have time. Time command in actually Linux environment is used to execute some command and prints the summary of it in a real time. So here there is no command is been given to the time, but like for example you can give time space sleep and 3 so that you can create dummy job for that lasts for 3 seconds. So next is wife. Wife is not a command, she commands bash. Wife command not found. Anyway, that was for fun. Let me clear the wife, screen. Clear is the command to clear the screen. So next command is a system command and it is ls. ls is a command that lists or that displays all the files and folders in the specific directory in the current location where you are. Like if you are on a desktop, then it shows all the files and folders that are there on the desktop. So let's see in the action. In the terminal, type ls. So you are seeing some folders like desktop, documents, downloads and so on. So these are the folders of user account Kiran. So we are on the default location in the terminal. If you type a man ls, it will display the manual of the command ls. So as you can see, the description lists information about the files and folders, and these are all the options like switches -a for do not ignore entries starting with dot, that is period. It's not end period, it's actually displaying you the period. It means that it displays all the hidden files, and in Linux hidden files are denoted by period in front of the name of the file or the folder, and hit Q to exit from the terminal. Now type ls-l. The switch L is used to list the files and folders in long format with permissions like you are seeing on the screen. These are the permissions assigned to particular files and folders, which I will explain later in this class. And now type ls-la, and as you can see here in the screen, it displays all the files and folders with permissions in long format, and also it displays the hidden files. All these files which are having period in front of their name, in front of the file name of the file or folder, these are all hidden files as explained in this video. So -la displays all files and folders including hidden files. So next, ls-R, hit enter. By using -R switch, all files and folders are displayed in recursive tree format. Let me give a ls-R pipe less, and you can see now as you keep hitting the enter, you can see all the files and folders within this location. They are displayed in the tree format. Let me give the alias name for the clear, because clear is 5 characters. Alias cls is equal to clear. Now on typing cls, it will clear the screen. Next new command is cat. Cat is a command which stands for concatenate. It is used to display the contents of any file using the terminal window. So let's see in the action. Open the terminal. There are no files as this is a new installation. So let me create one file by using right click on the screen, not in the terminal window. Create document. Click on empty file. Now name your file. Let me name as test. So I'm writing something like this is a document for course purpose. Now click on file in the menu and save to save the file. Now we have some content written in the file. So let us open using cat command. I saved the file on desktop. So let us navigate to desktop in the terminal window. cd desktop ls. So test, that is the file you can see. Now let us type cat space test. See, the content is displayed in the standard output. That is the terminal window here. So you can read the content. This is the sample document for the course. So cat command is used to display the content. Also cat is used to create the file using the terminal window. Cat space forward arrow, then file name, that is test1 in this case. Now write the content in the terminal window itself. So type something like you need to write text here, and after writing the text, press Ctrl D to save the file and to exit to the command prompt. So press Ctrl D. Now cat test1, see, you can see the content that I have written, that is you need to write text here and so on. Now let me create one more file using cat command, cat forward arrow test2, some more text here, Control D. Now cat test2, so we have the content that is displaying. Now you can create new file and add the contents of two files, that is contents of test1 and test2 to the new file. So that is done using same command, cat test1 test2 forward arrow, and type any file name that you want to name it and add the content of two files to the text. So let me type new file. Now cat new file. See, contents of two files are added to the new file, that is new file over here. And let me clear the screen. Next, touch. Touch is also a command like cat to create files, so you can see the syntax on the slide. So let us go to the screen. Now touch can be used to create multiple files using single command, like see over here, touch F1, file 1, F2, F3, F4 and F5. Now see the desktop clearly, you have only 4 files, test, test1, test2 and new file. Now when I hit enter, you will see all these files from F1 to F5. Enter. That's it. You can see 5 files naming F1, F2, F3, F4 and F5. Also you can create a single file, like let me create touch file. Now a file is created with file name file. Now let us use rm command to delete the file. Rm file. See, the file is disappeared from the screen. Similarly, let us delete all the files. Rm f1 f2 enter. See, 2 files are disappeared. Now if I type rm again file 1 and file 2, that is f1 f2, see, cannot remove f1 because no file or directory, because we have already deleted them. Let me clear other files. Rm f3 f4 f5 test 1 test2, hit enter. Rm new file. Now mv move command. So before that, let me create one more file, cat forward arrow f1, and let us type something like hi and Control D to save it. And now let us move this f1 file to some location like downloads. For that you need to use command mv. So type mv, name of the file, that is f1, then the location or path where you are intended to move the file, like I said downloads. So the path is root home Kiran downloads. Now hit enter. Cat f1, then root home Kiran downloads. Oh, it should actually display the content within the file. Let me navigate to the downloads folder itself. So now type ls. Oh, you can see a folder in blue color and a zip file in red color, and finally we have f1 at last. So let us use cat command, cat f1. That's it. So the content is displayed. So this is how you move the file from one location to another location. Just name the file and type the path or location of the file where you are intended to save the file or move the file. Let me go back to desktop again, cd desktop. Now let me create one more file, cat ff1, adding some new text. Now cp is a command to copy a file from one location to another location. Type cp ff1, that is the name of the file, and location of the file, that is in this case let me save it to videos, root home Kiran and videos. Let us navigate to the videos folder, cd home Kiran videos, ls c ff1. So this is how you copy the file from one location to another location. See, on the desktop the file still exists because you are only copying, not moving. So the next command is mkdir. It is the command used to create directory, or it is called as folder also. Also, you can use the same command to create multiple directories like syntax you are seeing below the slide, like mkdir, and within the curly brackets you need to specify the name of the folders, like you are seeing f1 is the folder name in this case. So mkdir, open curly bracket, f1, f2, f3 and so on, and close the bracket. So let us go to the terminal to see this command in action. So let us type the command mkdir and let us name the directory as directory1. Hit enter. So a directory is created, you can see on the screen, ls. Also you can see the directory. Type ls. So no files and folders. So let me go inside the folder using the folder icon on the desktop. Double click to open the folder. So the next command is mkdir. Mkdir is the command used to create a directory or multiple directories. As you know, a directory can be called as folder also. So syntax is mkdir and the name of the directories. And to create multiple directories, the below this one is the syntax. You can give mkdir and name of the directories separated by a space. So let us see this command in action, and before that, this is the command rm that is used to delete specific files or directories in a folder. So let us see these commands. Now let us type mkdir and name the directory. Let me name it as Kiran. ls. See, you can see a Kiran directory or a folder named Kiran. It's on home folder Kiran, and this is the directory. Let me navigate to desktop. So let me create some more directories over here. mkdir d1, d2, d3 and d4. If you see the desktop, we don't have any directories other than the home, this one. So let us hit enter. So as you can see, we have 4 directories, new directories that are created. And to delete directories, before that let me create some files. Touch f1, f2, f3 and f4. So we have 4 files and 4 directories. So rm is the command to delete file or directory. So let us type rm and f1. If you see the desktop, this file should be deleted. So let us hit enter. As you can see, that file is deleted. If you now type rm and f1, you will get an error message like the file does not exist. For example, let us see, let me hit enter. No such file or directory. So you cannot remove file that does not exist. So let me type f2, f3 and 4. So now I'm going to delete all these files. As you can see, I have deleted all the files. Similarly, we can also delete directories. d1, d2, d3 and d2. So you cannot delete using rm command. So I need to type rmdir and delete d1. Now see, you can delete the d1 directory and again d2 and again d3 and d4. I am deleting 2 files, so it's gone. Now let me create one more directory, folder Kiran1. The Kiran1 is there. Let me create some directories over here. And open terminal here. ls. So we have Kiran1. ls minus capital R, as you know, it is a command to display the files in recursive tree format. Let me hit enter. So these are all the files that we have inside Kiran1. These are all files and folders inside Kiran1. So let me remove or delete Kiran1 folder. So rmdir Kiran1. So do you think this will work? No, it cannot remove a directory which has files and folders in it. So for that you have to fire a command rm minus r, then Kiran1. See, now it's deleted. To change the directory, let me go to the slide. So cd is a command that stands for change directory and used to move from one location to another location. That is, if I am on a desktop, I can change my location or move from desktop to this folder using command name then followed by the path. So let us see that in the action. Let me change the font size. You you can right click anywhere on the terminal and click on preferences, and in preferences you can see under the font, click on change, and you can change. Let me type it to 15. Let me set it to 15, and hack is the font type. Click OK and apply. OK, I think it's clearly visible now. So the next command is cd. So before that, let me create, because I don't have any files over here, folder 1, create. We have a folder. Let me create one more folder. So I've created 3 folders, one within each other. So let me go back to the desktop. So ls -r. So that is a recursive tree format. Now if I want to change directory from my current location, that is from desktop to 4 folder, so cd 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is how you can change to a newer location to the folder whose name is 4, or you can actually move to a root folder using command cd / cd desktop. This is quite common. Oh, Kiran desktop. So this is how you will move, and 1. So this is how you have to specify the full path of the location of the folder or directory to which you want to change, and 4. So have changed from the root folder to the new folder, that is 4, which is inside 3, and the folder which is inside 2, and the folder which is inside 1, and which is on desktop, which is in Kiran, that is user accounts, and which is under home cd root. Now if I want to go back, I have to specify cd ... So cd ... will take me back by one folder, or you can also specify by cd ... which will take you back by one folder. This is same as cd ... If I want to move 2 folders back, then cd ... / and again cd ... / so this is one folder back. So this will move take me to one folder back, and this is take me to another folder back. It means that I will be on desktop now. So that's it. Let me clear the screen. So the next command is history, history. This command will display all the commands that you have used. So let me type enter. These are all the commands that you have used recently, and there are almost 720 commands that I have used after creating this virtual machine. So these are all the commands that I've used. The next command is passwd. Passwd is a command to change the password of current user account or any user account. So man password, change user password, quit. So passwd, then Kiran is my user account name, and I am changing the password for Kiran. I am typing the password and you cannot see. Now I must type the new password. I must retype again. This is a quite common practice. So the password has updated successfully. So the next command is su. su in Unix systems allow you to execute command as a substitute user. It means that you can take the privileges of any other user which has account on this system, but mostly it is the default user, that is a root user. But before that, let us go to a man pages, man su. So you can read that it allows you to run a command with a substitute user or a group ID. Now before typing su command or before executing su, let us check who am I. You know, it's me, Kiran, who has logged into this system using Kiran account. Now if I type sudo su, generally it will ask for a password. You have to type the password. Now I am on this terminal as a root user. If I type who am I, it will give that I am root. But if I type who, it will show that I am Kiran, because I have logged into this terminal, into this computer as a Kiran. The account is there on this system, because there is only one account, that is Kiran, and default is root. It has changed to the root user. Now if I want to get out of this terminal, type exit. It will take you out to the I can type su if there is any other account like Kiran2 or any other account name like the user does not exist. Actually the user does not exist. If user exists, then I can execute commands as that user. So let me create a user, sudo user add, and now there is a user called Ananya. I am who. Now I am changing to sudo su Ananya. Now if I type who, I am Kiran, but who am I? See, I am Ananya. So from here I can execute any command as a Ananya but not as a Kiran. See, I am at a user privileges. There is no hash. I am a user but not a root. Here you can see that I am a root. If you are a root user, you have a hash in your prompt, but if you are a user, it means if you have a user privileges, you have a pound in your prompt. So whenever you see a dollar sign or a dollar sign, it means that you are a user, or if you have pound, then it means that you are a root. Next command is chmod or chmod, and chmod stands for change mode. Chmod command is used to change or set permissions to file or folder. Either you can change or set permissions. Like there are three kinds of permissions: read, write, and execute. So as you see on the slide, the syntax is chmod options mode and the name of the file or folder. There are three types of options: recursive, force, and verbose. We can use flags -r, f, and v respectively, and there are three types of modes which already said: read, write, and execute. Now if you see in the slide, there is a command ls-la long listing with hidden files. Now at the first you are seeing total 16, then below that drwxr-xr. What is this? Basically, if you look for folder 1 or file 1, let us take file 1. For file 1 there is hyphen, then rw hyphen, then r, two hyphens, r2 hyphens. But for folder it's drwx r-x r-x. So the first letter for folder 1 denotes d, it means it's a directory, but there is no character for file 1, it's just hyphen. So when the first character is hyphen, it's file, and if first character is directory d, then it's directory. Then if you check for folder 1, there are 9 characters left, that is rwx, r-x, and r-x. After d, the first 3 characters, that is rwx, are read write permissions for owner, the second set r-x for group, then third set r-x for others. So for file 1, it's rw hyphen are the permissions for owner, then r-hyphen are permissions for group of file 1, then r-hyphen are permissions for others for file 1. So r is read permission, w is write permission, and x is execute permission. So this is how permissions are there for files and folders, but we can manipulate that using chmod command. So let us go back to the terminal. Let me create one file. Guys, this class is taking too long, but have patience because these basics are important. So I have created a file 1, and added content to it. Let me create a folder also, folder 1 ls. So we have file 1 and folder 1. Let us type ls-la. So now you can see the permissions for file 1 and folder 1. I have already explained the permissions. So let us check using the icons also. Right click on file 1, properties, permissions. See, owner is Kiran Kumar with account Kiran and has access read and write. For group, access is read only, and for others it's read only. Let me close this and change permissions using chmod command. Type chmod 755 and F. So file 1. Now permissions are changed. Let us type ls minus l. See, now file 1 color has changed from white to bluish tint color. That's mostly used in Hollywood movies in color correction. Anyway, so now if you check the permissions, earlier for file 1 only RW was there, that is read write. No executable permissions are there. Now we have R, W and X is also there in the second, that is where you have this file in blue tint color, that is we have given executable permissions. And what is 755? So let me explain these numbers. In this image you are seeing at a file, this is file because you are seeing a hyphen over here in front of RWX, and RWX are read write executable permission for user, and this read -x for group and read -x for others. Now let us denote. I will not go much into depth, but to make it easy to understand you, this is denoted by read permissions are denoted by 4, write by 2 and executable permissions by 1. If you add, the sum is 7, and for group if you add R-X, that is 4, 0 plus 1 is equal to 5, and similarly for others also it's 4, 0 and 1 which sums to 5. So if you give chmod 755, it means that you are telling that this file should have all permissions, that is read write executable permissions to the users, and only read and executable permissions for the group and read and executable permissions for others. But if you want to give all permissions, that is read write and executable for users, groups and others, you will give it by 777. So you will add W, that is write permissions to the users, group and others also. It means that you will add 2 to 4 plus 1, that sums to 7, and again you will add 2 plus 4 plus 1, that is again to 7. Similarly, if you want to give only read permissions to groups and others, you will neglect or you will remove 2 and 1, leaving only 4 and 4 behind. So user will have all permissions, that is 4 plus 2 plus 1, that is 7, and users will have only 4 plus 0 plus 0, that is 4, and others will have 4 plus 0 plus 0, which are denoted by hyphens, so that is 744. So this is a simple explanation. So whenever you want to modify, this is the numerical representation of giving permissions to all users, groups and others. Let us also change the permissions for the folder also. chmod 755, and let's replace to folder name from file. So folder 1. Hit enter. Permissions are changed. So let us type ls-la c d r w x, d for directory, r for read, write and executable permissions are given to folder 1. Let me show you example by giving permission to some script so that you can execute. So let us create a file, cat shell.sh. Oops. It's cat forward arrow and shell.sh. Let's write a simple script with ls command. Hash exclamatory bin sh. It's a command saying it's a shell executable. So let us save it. We have only one command given in it, that is ls. So if you type ls minus l, you can see only read write permissions are there for user. So let us change the permissions. chmod 755 shell.sh. See, now the color has changed. So let us execute it. To execute, you must specify period / and file name, that is shell.sh. So here the command ls has executed, and ls is nothing but list files and folders. So on desktop we have only one file, that is shell.sh. So that has been displayed in the terminal window. Now ps. ps is command used to display the processes running in your system, and it will display on your terminal window. So that's the syntax ps. And we have couple of options like ps-a, which displays all active processes, and other options. So let's see in the terminal window. Type ps, hit enter. See, now you can see a PID, TTY, time and CMD. PID stands for process ID. We have two processes, that is bash and ps. Bash is the terminal itself, and ps is that command we have run, which is showing of processes that are running in your system. Let us go a bit in depth. So man ps for manuals on ps command. So as you can see, ps reports a snapshot of current processes. It means it displays current processes. And if you come below, this is the description of the ps command, and please read the description so that you will understand much more in depth, and some options which we will see in action. So hit q to exit out of the manuals. ps aux. So a is for showing processes for all users, and u shows processes of owner, and x shows processes not attached to a terminal. So if you execute it, hit enter. See, let us go up. Now you are seeing detailed information of all the processes like user, PID, %CPU, memory, and so on. Let us discuss. User is user owning the process, means who has invoked process or started the application or task. Then process ID is process ID of any process. It is unique number of that process. Then CPU, %CPU is CPU time used by that particular task or application or process in %. Then memory is physical memory used by that particular process or task. Then VSZ is virtual memory used by that process in bytes. Then we have RSS. I have already explained what RSS is earlier in this class. That is a resident size set. That is a non-swappable physical memory used by that single process. And TTY is terminal from which the process is started. Question mark represents that process is not started from terminal. Then stat is process state. Start is starting time of the process. Time is total CPU time that is used by that single process or task. And command with its argument which describes this process or task. Man ps. So let us take some more options. ps minus elf. So what is elf? Try to investigate yourself as an assignment. Then ps minus capital A is a small summary of all the processes. Then one more, ps hyphen axjf. This is to see all processes in tree format. So here it is the tree format, and oops, network is disconnected. Anyway, this is processes listed in tree format. And ps minus or hyphen e hyphen forest. It is the summary of processes in tree format. Then ps minus u. Oops, it's small u, not capital U. ps minus small u. This command lists processes related to particular user. So in this case, I am the user Kiran. So processes that I invoked is shell. This is bash. That is a terminal, and I also executed a command to show the processes, and that is also a task. So ps-u shows processes related to user Kiran. Next, ps-aux I have already shown. So let me open some application, like let me go to the icon Kali and let us open some random application you are seeing over here, like RTIL document viewer. So the application is launched. Minimize it. ps-aux. So that is the task or process related to RTIL document viewer. Now let us search for some task that is running background. You might know the name of task which is running background. So you can check using ps, and grep is piped to ps. But in this case, since we know RTIL is running in this system, so let us search for RTIL process using ps grep command. So you need to type ps-aux pipe -i grep and name of the task. In this case it's RTIL. Type RTIL and hit enter. See, you can see two processes related to RTIL, that is process ID 1585 and 1516. So 1585 is the original process. When you launched the application, it has started, and the other is one which you have issued command, that is grep, to search for this arbitrary item or application or process which is RTIL. Now you can kill or terminate the application RTIL by issuing kill command. Type sudo kill and process ID is 1585. Before hitting enter, see on the top RTIL is there in minimized state. Now hit enter. See, it's gone. This is how you can kill applications or terminate certain processes running in the system. So the next command is ping command. From here we start networking commands. Commands like ping, ipconfig in Windows, ifconfig in Linux, and netstat, traceroute, route, and nbtstat in Windows, so on. These are all networking commands, and networking commands are used to troubleshoot or diagnose network issues or network connectivity issues. So let's start with ping command. Ping stands for Packet Internet Gopher. It is a network utility that is used to test network connectivity issues. Like if you type ping and IP address or domain name of the target destination, it will send an ICMP echo request. ICMP stands for Internet Control Message Protocol, and it sends ICMP echo request and waits for the response. If the host or the target is alive, then it will send a response message. So we can understand that the system is alive and it is responding with the reply packets. So let us see this command in action. And before that, you must install a NetTools package so that all the networking utilities will install in your system. And command to install is apt-get install NetTools. Sudo apt-get install NetTools. Let us go to the terminal. And if you are using operating system like CentOS server or Red Hat, which is using Red Hat package manager for software installations, then you must issue the command yum install NetTools. Let us go to the terminal. So this is the terminal where we will install sudo apt-get install NetTools. I have already installed NetTools. So I have already a newest version of the NetTools. So let me uninstall and reinstall again so that you can understand or you will see how the installation goes. So let me remove the package. Uninstallation is nothing but removing the package from your system. So apt-get remove NetTools. So now the package is NetTools is removed from my system. Let me reinstall again. Sudo apt-get install NetTools. So now NetTools is installed, clear, and let us work with the ping command. So what is ping? Ping stands for Packet Internet Gopher, as said. So let us go to the man page before we execute or before we run ping command. So it sends ICMP echo request to the network host, that is the destination. It uses ICMP protocol as said and waits for the response. So these are all the options that we will work with, and it is very much important command. Hit Q to exit from the man pages, as you know. And now let us type ping INSECTECHS.in. You can either type the domain name or the IP address. If you want to know the IP address of any domain, just type host domain name. Then you will know the IP address, that is IP address. Now you can type the IP address ping 184.168. See, now I'm getting reply messages. I know that this system is alive because I'm getting the reply messages from the target IP address, that is 184.168.131 and 241. Hit Ctrl C to get to the command prompt. Now let me clear the screen. Now we'll work with some of those switches. Ping -v gives the version number of the utilities, IP utilities. So then we have ping INSECTECHS.in. Earlier we have used IP address, now we can use domain name. We can also use www. I'll say www, it's www. That's the reply. Now if I type ping and IP, it's continuously pinging. It means that we are continuously getting responses from the destination IP. In order to stop that, we are using Ctrl C. But if we want only 5, then we can type ping -c, that is a count 5. Say for example I am giving 5, so then I will get only 5 responses, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we have 5 responses. So C is an option to limit the count to certain number that we mention over here. And next, if we want to have certain size, say for example, so you can see here the size is 56 bytes. If we want for certain size to be sent, then we can give -s option and limit the size to, for example, 100. Then if you can see over here, so we have issued two switches, one is size and the other is count, so we have only 5 responses. Then then the size is 100 bytes. Earlier it was 56, now it's 100. And next one is and the next one is time interval. If we type, we'll get one response every second, means the default time interval between every response is 1 second, that we can manipulate using I switch. Let me remove this -I, and for example, if I want to limit the responses for every 2 seconds or every 3 seconds, then after 3 seconds 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So we are limiting the response for every 3 seconds using I switch. Let me hit Ctrl C. Then next, we have already seen the interval using I switch. So if we want our pinging to be stopped after certain amount of time, then we will use a W switch. Ping, let me clear, ping -W. So if we want our ping command to stop after 5 seconds, then we will give -W and the time interval in seconds. So we'll get responses for 5 seconds, then the pinging will stop automatically. Since the default time interval is 1 second and I have given ping to stop after 5 seconds, I have received only 5 responses, 1 2 3 4 and 5. So the next command is flood command, and you can flood any destination network or system with -F, that is ping -F and the IP address over here. So let us ping the local system. Let us ping my Windows system. So the IP address of my IP address of my system is 192.168.1.13. So let me ping it. Before pinging, let me open the task manager and performance. Please observe this CPU utilization graph. It's now 20% and 192.168.1.13. Sudo ping -F flood the IP 192.168.1.13. It's flooding, I guess. See, now the activity on CPU is raising. Earlier it was 20%, now it has raised to 69, 66, 62. See, I'm flooding this Windows 10 computer with F command, F switch. So if I type Ctrl C over here, the flooding should stop, and there is a downfall in the graph. There's a downfall in the CPU utilization activity. So this is how you will use -F switch or F option to flood any target IP address or a system. So this is a ping command with some options we have seen. Some more options we can see when we are actually learning the hacking course. So the next command is, so guys, the next command is ifconfig command. Ifconfig command is used to see active network interfaces or is used to view or modify the network interfaces or configure the network interfaces. Ifconfig stands for interface configuration. As you know, there are different types of NIC or network interface cards, like Ethernet, and you have Wi-Fi Ethernet, which is simply a Wi-Fi card or Wi-Fi adapter. And the other one is a loopback adapter, which is a software network interface card and usually have 127.0.0.1 as its IP address or loopback address. So ifconfig command is, so as said, ifconfig command is used to configure these network interfaces. Ifconfig is basically a network utility which is very much important for hackers and generally used by system and network administrators for various networking tasks, particularly for configuring these network interfaces. So simply let's type ifconfig, and you must type sudo and type your password. As you can see, we have two interfaces, that is H0 and LO. H0 is basically your cable connection, that is Ethernet or Ethernet card, and 0 is the first Ethernet card. If you have multiple Ethernet cards, then it will display as H0, H1, H2, etc. And if you have Wi-Fi or wireless adapter connected to your desktop or a laptop, then WLAN 0 will be displayed over here. So let me connect, or let me, as you can see over here, we have only a wide connection. So let me connect my external Wi-Fi adapter so that I will also show you this. Now as you can see, I have actually connected my external Wi-Fi adapter, which is alpha. So we have fired this if command without any arguments. We have simply typed sudo if config. But before that, let us go to before seeing other arguments like switches we have seen earlier for other commands, let's go to man if config. As you can see, if config is used for configure a network interface, and this is the description. It is used to configure kernel resident network interfaces, and it starts at boot time and is usually needed for debugging. So when no arguments are given, as we have fired earlier, only if config, it will give the status of current active interfaces. So let us see some of the switches, like we have -a, -s and -v. Now sudo if config, as we have already seen, we have three network interfaces, that is H0, loopback address, and WLAN 0. We have IP address. Our system, our Kali Linux has now Wi-Fi enabled over here, and wide is disconnected. And if we type sudo if config -a, it will display all the interfaces that are currently available, even if they are down. So that is same as if config itself. So nothing much difference over here. You can see over here also nothing much difference. Or let me split the terminal horizontally and show you. Sorry, let me split it vertically. Now this is if config -a, and let me type. So if you see over here, there is nothing much difference over here. So if config -a is almost like if config. Now we'll see some other arguments like if config -s. So it will give the short list of the interfaces, that is, if you can see over here, H0, LO, that is loopback, and WLAN 0. So this is the short description or short list of if config command when you fire if config with -s argument. And then if you want to see the information of a specific network information card, you have to fire a command if config WLAN 0. Then it will display the information of this Wi-Fi card only. So we have WLAN 0, whose IP address is 192.168.1.15, and network mask and broadcast address. And this is the hardware address of our wireless adapter. And if you want to see the information of H0 or Ethernet card H0, so this is, since we don't have any network connectivity, or it is disabled, we did not connected it, we disconnected it. So this is disconnected, so IP address is not allocated to this network information card or NIC card. We have only hardware address displayed. This is the hardware address of this Ethernet card. As said, if we have multiple Ethernet cards, and if we type only H0, the H1 will not be displayed, because we have fired if config H0 to display only the first Ethernet card. So let me show you that as well. So let us switch off the system. Now under VirtualBox Manager Kali 2020, this is the system we are working on. Settings, network, and let me enable another Ethernet as well. We have enabled 3, and which has bridge adapter. Okay, so let me start this. So let's start the terminal, and if we fire sudo if config if config config, type your password, and now you can see we have multiple Ethernet cards, that is H0, H1, H2, loopback, and WLAN 0, and we have IP address allocated to third 012, that is third Ethernet card. You can see over here, this is one, so this is the one. So we have IP address connected to ETH2. Now let me clear the screen. So if we want to see the details of that particular interface, sudo ETH2. So this is the details of Ethernet network. So this is the details of network interface ETH2, and if you want to see the details of ETH1, that's the command sudo if config ETH1. Similarly, we have ETH0, and that's the details, and that is loopback, and finally we have the last is WLAN 0, wireless network information card, which is down. So these are all the details of network interface cards that are there on this system, and ETH2 is enabled, which has IP address of 192.168.1.5. Now let me clear the screen and we'll play with if config command. So let me type ping INSECTECHS.in with sudo. Now you can see the reply messages. It means that we are sending and receiving the data using ETH2 network interface, which is up and running. And now this command, before that let me split the terminal horizontally and one vertically. So before that, let us see the IP address that is there to the ETH2. Sudo if config. The IP address allocated to ETH2 is 192.168.1.5, and we are sending and receiving the data. Now if we type sudo over here in this pane, sudo if config ETH2 down, this will disable ETH2 network interface. Type the password. Now if we type sudo if config -a, that is all, we have automatically IP address allocated to WLAN 0, and ETH2 has no IP address, ETH1 has no IP address, and ETH0 has also no IP address. So now we have IP address 192.168.1.15 is allocated to WLAN 0. Earlier it was IP address 1.5 to ETH2 network interface card. So this you can see over here. I'm connected to Wi-Fi network Ananya. So let me clear all the screens. So the command sudo if config followed by interface name, that is H0, then up or down, will either disable or enable the interface. Whether the interface could be a WLAN 0, like WLAN 0, then up to enable or down to disable. So remember this command, you can activate or you can enable or disable this network interface using this command. Now to add IP address or to assign an IP address to particular interface like H0, the command is sudo if config H0 followed by the IP address. Before that, let us check the IP address of this interface. It's 10.0.2.15 H0 10.0.2. Let me give it 25. Now if we check IP address, it's changed to 10.0.2.10. 25. Earlier it was 10.0.2.15. Now we have changed the IP address of this interface as 0. We can also add an IP address to eth1 sudo eth 0 eth1 192.168. Let me do to eth2. It's 192.2.168.1.9. Now if I type, now you can see, if I type ifconfig -a, you can see the IP address for h0 is 10.0.2.25, which we have given earlier, and now we have 192.168.1.9, which we have recently assigned. Similarly, we can also assign an IP address for WLAN0 using the same command, LAN0. You cannot allocate same IP address to different interface cards. So let me give 192.168.1.10, and if I again type ifconfig -a, you can see the IP address is 192.168.1.10 is allocated to wireless adapter or Wi-Fi card. Now we know that we have H0, H1, H2 wireless adapter, that is WLAN0 and loopback, through which data comes and goes, that is you can receive and send data. There are two modes of these network interface cards, that is, one is normal mode, the other is a promiscuous mode. In the normal mode, whenever you receive data on, say for example H0, it verifies whether the data that comes into this card belongs to it or not. If the data belongs to it, it will allow, but if the data is not related to it, then generally the interface or a network card drops the packet. But when the card or when the NIC card is in the promiscuous mode, it will allow all the data that comes into it and goes from it. So what is the use of a promiscuous mode? If you keep your network interface card or NIC card in a promiscuous mode, you can generally analyze all the data that is coming and going through the traffic, or you can snip the entire data or data traffic that is coming and going through this particular network interface card. So to enable promiscuous mode on this particular interface, simply type sudo ifconfig interface name, that is h0 followed by promisc. Now this particular interface H0 is in promiscuous mode. It means that this network interface will allow all the data without dropping any single packet from it or through it. Now to disable this promiscuous mode on this particular interface, simply type the command sudo ifconfig interface name, that is H0 followed by -promisc. Now this H0 interface or network interface is in normal mode. So the next command after ifconfig is iwconfig. iwconfig is very much similar to a ifconfig. Ifconfig is used for interface configuration, but iwconfig is used to configure network interfaces specific to wireless network cards. So basically it is used to set parameters of network interfaces that are particular or specific only to wireless networks, and its operations like SSID or the parameters that you are seeing on the slide, SSID, network ID, nickname, mode, etc. So to say in simple words, iwconfig is a command or a command utility to play with wireless network interfaces. So let's see the command in the terminal. So in the terminal, if you type sudo iwconfig, before typing the command, let me disconnect from wireless and let me connect to a wired network. So now I'm connected to a wired network, and let us see ifconfig -a. So we have Ethernet 2 enabled and is connected via cable network, that is wired network, and has IP address 192.168.1.5, and of course we have wireless also connected. So let me disconnect it. Let me repeat the command. So now we don't have any wireless connection over here. The wireless adapter is enabled, but it's not connected to any network. However, we have Ethernet 2 enabled and connected to a local network. Now if I type iwconfig sudo iwconfig, it will display the information like it is showing the interface cards like hello with no wireless extension, ETH0 no wireless extension, and so on. It means that these are not a wireless cards, and when you see WLAN 0, it is unassociated and has nicknamed something and is in a managed mode with a frequency and some other details. As you see that wireless LAN or WLAN wireless network interface card is enabled but not connected to a network. Now if I connect wirelessly to my router, now I'm connected. Okay, now if I type the same command again, now the information displayed over here and here are completely different. So I have repeated the commands in vertical terminal panels by splitting it vertically. Now if you see the information when WLAN was disabled or disconnected, we have unassociated to any access point with the nickname something, and the mode is managed mode. There are different kinds of modes like access mode, managed mode, or master mode, or repeater, and so on, regarding which we will learn later. And we have frequency of 2.437 gigahertz, and it's not associated to any access point. However, after connecting to a router, that is Ananya, that is ESSID as Ananya, we have an access point, that is the MAC address of the router itself. Sensitivity is 0 and some other information is displayed over here, and similarly this is the information that is displayed for firing sudo if config command after connecting to a Wi-Fi router. Earlier we have not associated to any access point, but now if you can see, we have a MAC address of the Wi-Fi router is displayed because it is connected to a Wi-Fi router and has extended SSID, that is Ananya, and we don't have over here. And the other information is that my network interface card, that is wireless network card, supports IEEE 802.11 BGN, and the mode is managed mode that we explained earlier, and some information like frequency is 2.437 gigahertz, bitrate is 300 MB per second, and sensitivity is 0 again, and the encryption security is enabled. The key is this, and security mode is open. We have link quality 100 of 100, and signal level, that is signal strength, is minus 16 dBm. If this number is low, like if minus 13 dBm or minus 10, it means that we have good signal strength, and so on. We will learn much about this information when we actually learn the Wi-Fi hacking itself. Let me clear the screen. And if we type the same command, sudo iwconfig with WLAN 0, displays the same results. And now let me disconnect from the router, and there are some other commands associated with wireless network interface. Let's say the man pages minus k iw. So these are all the commands that are connected to wireless card, like iwconfig we have seen, and iw lists, etc. So let's check one of those commands like sudo iw list. So we have the syntax to use this command iw list, like iw list, interface name like WLAN 0 or WLAN 1, etc., whatever the interface name of that wireless card is. And scanning is to scan for Wi-Fi connections, and we have for frequency, we have channel, bitrate, encryption, and so on. So we will see some of these commands right now. So let us do some scanning. Collapse subterminal. Now sudo iwconfig iw list, and interface in WLAN 0, and scan or scanning. I think scanning should work. It is scanning. Yes. So let me scroll up. So what has happened is we have scanned for access points so that we can connect, or we have discovered access point to which we can connect. When we were performing scanning, the wireless network card has tried to receive some beacons, or sometimes it tries to send a probe so that can expect to receive the responses to the probe that has been sent. And basically it does this on all the channels, like we have channel 1, channel 2, channel so on. It has been done on all channels, and this is the information of cell 1 whose MAC address is D00F and so on. It means that it is an access point or router whose MAC address is D00F, 6E, FC and so on, and whose extended SSID is the main, and protocol supported is IEEE 802.11bgn and so on. Similarly, let us check for the Ananya. This cell 2 is ACT 101, cell 3 is Queen and so on. Let's look at for Ananya and cell 5. This is my router, my wireless router, whose MAC address is 001E A6F836 and F1, and again we have protocol supported is IEEE, and now it's in a master mode. Earlier we have seen it's in a managed mode, now it is in a master mode, and this is some other information of this cell related to this router and so on. Apart from scanning, let us look at some other commands. So let me type sudo iwlist WLAN 0. Don't forget to mention the name of the interface, that is WLAN 0, and channel. We'll see available channels, CHANNEL. We have the following channels like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, with the frequency related to that channel is mentioned over here. From 1 to 13 we have 2.4 gigahertz, and from 36, 40 and so on we have 5 gigahertz. Actually it's a dual band router. I'm using a dual band router. And then we have, and by the way, the current frequency is 2.437 on the channel 6, that is over here. And next we have bitrate. So supported bitrates are bitrate. So supported bitrate on this interface are 4, like 1 MB per second and so on. The current bitrate is 300 MB per second. Now let us look at the encryption. So WLAN 0 we have 0 keys, and currently transmitted is 1 key. As we have seen, security mode is open. And next we have power. So current power mode is off, and next keys power, TX power. I want you to try all these commands, and you can always take the help of man command with iwconfig for more information. Thank you for watching the video, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel INSECTECHS.